First Lady Oluremi Tinubu reiterates call on youth for national rebirth by retaining faith in the administration and embracing honest hard work. NIWA increases surveillance on waterways to 24 hours, donates life jackets to riverine communities to reduce waterways tragedies. Nigeria-British government strengthen relations to development the civil service. Hello and welcome to the News Desk at 6 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. The President Bola Tinubu administration is committed to providing sustainable development for Nigerians and will do all it takes to ensure that they are not disappointed. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu gave this assurance at the Arole Oduo Palace of the Ooni of Ife Oba Enitan Adeyeye Ogunwusi. She said the president was aware of the current challenges facing the country and working hard to provide sustainable solutions. She reiterated her call on youth to position themselves for national rebirth by retaining their faith in the administration and embracing honest hard work. While offering royal blessings, the Ooni of Ife, Oba Ogunwusi, described the First Lady as a caring mother of the nation and appealed to all Nigerians to support the current administration. The First Lady is in Ile-Ife to inaugurate two key infrastructural projects, a 2.7-kilometer road named after her, and Ojaja male and female student hostels and pavilion, all executed by the traditional ruler in her alma mater. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Abubakar Bagudu, is assuring Nigerians that the federal government is working on addressing the current economic challenges through interventions and reforms that will bring relief to the people. The minister gave the assurance in Lafia at the closing of the Joint Planning Board and National Council of Development Planning meeting. Aliu Tijani reports.
For the past 3 days, Commissioner of Finance and Economic Planning, directors and other key players in charge of planning across states of the Federation brainstormed in Lafia on how to plan for the development of the country. Acknowledging the hardship faced by Nigerians due to some economic reform policies, the Joint Planning Board and the National Council on Development believes the pains are temporary with far-reaching gains in the future. Declaring the 3-day meeting closed, Vice President Kashim Shettima represented task participants to come up with recommendations that will create desired impact on the economy.
Nigeria, like many other nations, face daunting economic challenges, but in equal measure, we are also presented with remarkable opportunities that, if properly harnessed, can transform the socio-economic landscape of our great nation.
Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Abubakar Bagudu appeals to Nigerians to give the present administration more time in order to reap the gains of the ongoing economic reforms.
The government's decision to implement these overdue reforms is timely and crucial to setting Nigeria on the path to economic growth.
The resolutions to be arrived at the end of this meeting will be backed by realistic implementation strategies in our collective commitment to turn around the fortunes of the state.
The 3-day conference has as its theme State of the Nigerian Economy, Challenges, Options and Opportunities. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, Nta News.
As petrol stations commence dispersing fuel with the latest pump prices in Abuja, motorists want appropriate authorities to mitigate unrealistic price hike by some petrol stations. Lydia Sampson reports.
One of the filling stations here in Abuja, and as you can see, a litre is being sold at 1,080 naira. For now, Petrol is sold at cost-reflective price. For most motorists, the pump price increase is a painful reality, adding to their economic predicament. Others believe with patience, the challenges will gradually fizzle out.
I've joined the queue, get to the fuel pump. They said the company's POS machine is not working. I have to go outside to buy cash on my presence. When after I give them, they now go back to the back door and sell it again to private POS operators.
Some fleets are selling 1,200, 1,300, 1,400.
They keep increasing the price on a daily basis.
We should calm down. Things are hard, we know. To buy fuel per price of 1,015 naira is not easy. But we should be patient.
The problem might be corruption. If you increase it, yet in the filling station you don't see the product. But I want to let Nigerians know that within West Africa and in Africa, there is no country where their price of fuel is less than that of Nigeria. No, presently, with the present rate.
President, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association says there are issues that must be navigated for a successful open oil market.
We have over 15 billion naira with NNPC retail. And they say we have to come and complete the money to the new rate. So that is the reason why we said, okay, if you cannot be able to give us this product at a normal rate, then automatically then you send our money back to our accounts so that we can be able to see we buy it through Dangote.
At the time of filing in this report, NNPC Limited was not available for comment. For now, where stations with products are dispensing, motorists are keeping their fingers crossed and keeping hope alive. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
Troops of the Nigerian Armed Forces have arrested violent extremists and informants in Lokoja, Okene, Gwagwalada and Abaji in Kogi State and the Federal Capital Territory. Director Defense Media Operations Major General Edward Buba announced these at a news conference in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
There are more than 6 ongoing armed forces operations across the country. This bi-weekly media briefing provides update on these operations. Critical is the elimination of Mehijab, a terrorist warlord in Taraba State, and other kingpins in the region.
Another notorious terrorist leader was eliminated on the battlefield during the week. He was known as Mehijabi. He and his combatants terrorized communities in Taraba State, and we have now made him history. The same fate awaits several other terrorist leaders and their commanders. The troops also arrested violent extremists as well as informants in Lokoja and Okene local government areas of Kogi, as well as Gwagwalada and Abaji area council of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
Similarly, the recently unified command structure, Operation Fansanyama in the northwest, is yielding results, leading to the destruction of criminal camps and cells.
With Operation Fansanyama, which is just at the teaching stage, we are already seeing the results, and part of the results that we are seeing is that the terrorists are indicating that they want to surrender.
Details of operations within the last 7 days reveals that troops eliminated 165 terrorists, rescued 188 kidnapped victims, and recovered several arms. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, Nta News.
5 suspected criminals and various recovered exhibits have been paraded and displayed by the Eastern Ports Police Command in Port Harcourt. This was during a press briefing by the command in Post Port Harcourt. Emmanuel Lene reports.
The 5 suspects were arrested for diversion of truckload of sugar, conspiracy and stealing of 118 bags of sugar belonging to a sugar company. The diverted truckload of sugar was being rebagged into different bags when the police swooped on them. The exhibits the acting police public relations officer, SP Anjuguri Mansa, explained were recovered following a forward attempt by some hoodlums to criminally vandalize port activities.
All suspects have confessed to the crime and made useful statements, helping the police in further investigation into the matter. Meanwhile, efforts are being intensified to arrest other suspects still at large. The 118 bags of sugar have been released on bond because they are perishable goods. All suspects will be charged to court upon completion of investigation.
Besides this recent achievement by the port intelligence, the command had previously arrested some notorious vandal syndicates, some of whom were arrested and presently facing trials, while others escaped through the waters, and efforts are on to arrest the fleeing suspects. Items recovered from the suspected vandals include wooden boats, jack, saw blades, machetes, hammers, iron bar, spanners, chisel, cable wire, paddles, fire hose, crams, and axe saw. The command reiterates its commitment to providing a safe environment for the Nigerian Port Authority management and staff, port users, and other critical stakeholders to carry out their businesses and other activities. In Port Harcourt, Emmanuel Lene, NTA News.
The Senate is currently deliberating on a private audit bill that seeks to establish an audit tribunal. Ejirogene Francis Wave explained that the proposed tribunal will focus on addressing breaches of legislative compliance and related concerns. Kemini Williams monitored discussions on legislature at 64 on Good Morning Nigeria alongside other guests.
Celebrates its 64th independence anniversary. Guests on the program reiterated the importance of the legislature to democracy, noting that a legislature that is alive to its roles and responsibilities is a symbol of hope, a shield and a voice for the people. Political scientists called out the 10th Assembly to help address challenges of executive dominance, public trust deficits, over-bloated allowances, among others. In response, lawmakers on the program noted that the major challenge lies in an inherited negative public perception of the legislature.
When the oversight function is being performed by the National Assembly itself, and they push those recommendations, sometimes the executive does not respond positively to execute this project. And I'm happy that the audit tribunal is going to be in place soon. It is for the benefit of all of us Nigerians. And when it comes to the public misunderstand legislative projects because the misinformation is that the money is given to the honorable member and he now comes and he puts it there. No.
Is that the National Assembly shall make laws for the peace, the order, the good government. And I believe that these are all part of the ethos, Such laws, as prescribed in the exclusive legislative list and so on. So the question to us is, have we lived up to expectation within the parameters of this stipulation?
Guests noted that although the 10th National Assembly has made efforts at reinventing itself, there are, however, gaps that need to be addressed, especially in the area of oversight functions.
It's not about lawmaking because their work is cut out. Lawmaking and then oversight. But for me, lawmaking is not even the problem. The most critical thing that we need is the oversight.
And some petty, selfish power tussle between both arms, who is superior. And then when two elephants fight, the grass suffers.
The guests described the legislature as the crown of democracy and advised the National Assembly to focus on bringing developments to the nation rather than playing to the gallery. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, D.D. Esther Wosin-Jack, has met with the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montgomery, towards strengthening relations to develop the civil service. Harman Jabani reports.
The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Dr. Richard Montgomery, who incidentally is the first diplomat to visit the office of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, congratulated D.D. Esther Wosin-Jack for her well-deserved appointment and assured her of support in any way possible. He said the embassy will support the Nigerian civil service and would like to use some of the models it is using in transforming the service in the British civil service. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, DDS Walsh Njag, who took her guests through the FCC 25 plan and some of the deliverables, said the collaboration will be based on knowledge sharing and best practices to support Nigeria's ongoing reform initiative under the plan, as well as technology and innovation. She said the country's civil service would like to transfer the UK's annual civil service live conference model and explore exchange program and study tour to facilitate mutual learning with an emphasis on knowledge sharing.
Innovation is definitely something we cannot afford to overlook. And so we are also fostering innovation in the public service. For now, we have our annual Innovation Challenge program. And we would like to make a culture of creativity and continuous improvement using innovation in the service, and discuss with my team so that we identify the areas of collaboration and make sure that we have a representative of the UK government in each of the relevant war rooms.
DDS Walsh Njag welcomed the British High Commissioner to Nigeria and wished him a successful working experience, just as she solicited his support in institutionalizing the digitization program and the culture of change in the civil service. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on Nta News 24. We'll be back with more reports in a moment.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
This is Nta News 24.
Many thanks for being there. Now, the federal government has inaugurated a national task force on decriminalization of attempted suicide. This is in response to the World Mental Health Day. And I have with me in the studio Dr. Segun Soyombo with the National Hospital Abuja to throw more light on one or two topical issues that surrounds the celebration. You're welcome to the News Desk at 6.
Good evening, viewers.
Okay, now why the choice of the theme of this year?
Well, 10th October every year is set aside for celebrating the World Mental Health Day. This year the theme is it's time to prioritize mental health in the workplace. And for very good reasons, we are looking at the workplace. The most important social environment outside of the home is the workplace. That is where we spend most of our time. And many people will be in the workplace for many years. We say 30 years, 35 years, or 60 years, whichever comes first, isn't it? So if you're going to spend a considerable percentage of your lifetime in a place, it's important that that place should be good for your mental health. I think that's what informed the need to look at mental health in the workplace for 2024.
Okay, now you just made mention of knowing your mental status based on the nature of work you do. How aware are people on this, and how do we address stigmatization of victims?
Mental health conditions is still low. It is better than it used to be. We are grateful to NTA and the media for platforms like this where we can talk to Nigerians about mental health. So it's going to get better. Mental health conditions are quite common. They occur in about 1 out of every 4 persons when we talk about a lifetime prevalence. That doesn't mean 1 out of every 4 persons will run naked in the market square. No, mental illnesses consist of several conditions that do not involve people running naked or wearing rags. They include things like anxiety, sleep problems, disorders that affect children, disorders that occur when women have children, the disorders that occur in older persons, and several conditions like that. How do we address stigmatization? Creating awareness is one of the ways we can reduce stigma. Getting people treated is one of the most important measures to reduce stigma, because the factors that entrench stigmatization relating to mental health conditions are actually associated with lack of access to treatment. So if somebody has a mental illness and the person is not treated and it gets worse, that's when you begin to have things like suicide or running naked or being a danger to oneself or to others.
Okay, Doctor, now what is the role of the family and society in supporting mental health patients?
The role of family and society in supporting mentally ill patients cannot be overemphasized, especially in this part of the world where we do not have state-run social safety nets. The first person that comes to your rescue is actually family, friends, and then the society. So that role cannot be overemphasized. If a person is ill, who is going to encourage that person to go to hospital? If a woman is ill, who is going to look after her children? So that's where you begin to see the role of family, the role of society in helping people. And we are grateful to Nigerians. You have people who come to hospital and offer to pay the hospital bills of indigent patients. That's society stepping in to help the mentally ill.
Okay, so definitely it's not all mental imbalance cases that usually leads to committing suicide.
Certainly not. The vast majority of patients who have one mental illness or the other would not even think about suicide. The vast majority of them. However, most suicides occur in the context of a mental illness, when people feel depressed, when people feel completely hopeless and worthless and think that there's no need to carry on again, then they get into the point where they begin to contemplate or in fact harm themselves. Sure.
All right, many thanks, Dr. Segun Shiyombo from the National Hospital Abuja, for throwing more light on World Mental Health Day 2024. Moving on. National Inland Waterways Authority NIWAS to increase surveillance on waterways to 24 hours to reduce waterways tragedies as it donates more than 300 life jackets to the people of Bajibo riverine communities in Mokwa local government area of Niger State, while also taking steps. Musa Mukai reports that NIWA Managing Director Bola Oyebamiji also paid an on-the-spot assessment and condolence visits to the family of victims of the recent boat mishap in the state.
Buried here are the remains of the 43 victims of October 1st boat disaster that has caused untold grief to their families.
17-year-old Masouda Mohammed is one of those who lost their parents and loved ones in the October 1st boat mishap and still grieving.
My younger brother is among those people that died. He was the one that has been taking care of me. I will miss him.
The visit by the National Waterways Authority was to sympathize with the community and to also find a lasting solution to the frequent boat mishaps on waterways. This commitment was further demonstrated through the donation of more than 300 life jackets to the people, while also ensuring all regulatory guidelines are adhered to.
We have what it takes to police the waterways. We have raised our bar. Those that violate, for those that travels at night, the code stipulates that when they are apprehended, we will charge them to court.
The challenges we are having is lack of these life jackets. And this is why we are calling on government to please make available sufficient life jackets to our people so that we can be able to enforce our people to wear life jackets.
We wish to humbly request the National Inland Waterways Authority to support our community with modern boats and flying boats.
The managing director also promised the community a ferry speedboat and ambulance for rescue operation in case of emergency. Musa Mikhail, Nta News.
The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party has advised the party's National Working Committee to convene a National Executive Committee meeting on the scheduled date of 24th October 2024 to, among other things, put to rest all of the internal wranglings confronting the PDP chairman of the board, Senator Adolphus Wabara-Sitevis, at the 78th meeting of BOT at the party's headquarters in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Major agenda at this 78th meeting of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party is unity of purpose among party members. Report on some discrepancies in the concluded congresses of the party received BOT attention, with a call on the National Working Committee to correct all deviations from the party guidelines.
Constitutionality and the rule of law should be the guiding principles.
BOT enjoined party members, irrespective of status, to honor invitation from the party's reconciliation and disciplinary committees whenever they are called upon, in the interest of rebuilding the party to its old glorious and winning ways.
The strength of our party lies in our ability to resolve internal conflicts. As we know, a house divided cannot stand.
Acting National Chairman of the PDP, Ambassador Umar Iliadamagum, and some members of the National Working Committee attended the meeting, which also had the presence of the former National Chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, after a long-running legal battle about his continued membership of the party. Timothy Yusuf, Nta News.
And that concludes the News Desk at 6 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.